After I cut this tree down, I tell how tall it was. We measured it once it laid on the ground. And then we also kept up with how many limbs was in this tree as we were going up. It's a typical loblolly pine, grown out kind of in the open through its lifespan. And this tree had over 65 limbs in it. And we could keep up with it because I'm running the speed lines, and there's a dozen straps per rack that I run on this thing. And so that's how we knew how many limbs it was. So you take that in configuration with, the size of the tree, and you end up with, on these trees, quite a lot of debris out of them. So just a interesting fact on it. See what happens. Will help. I can actually loosen the rope. I'm just going to drop this next one, just let it fly. I'm just going to let it hit the gravel over there. It'll be fun. I'll take the strap off it and just let it go straight down. Here we go. I'm just going to let you ride, buddy. Alright, hang on, let me get my retrieve. Make it easier, because there ain't no way I seen it in that tree over there. There's no way you're going to get it to me from right there. That one then. Alright, go ahead. Y'all can see Kevin in there, he's strapping on that big tube on the blade, above the blade. Ready? Just like it, laid right in the bottom. Alright, we got another decent one. This is gonna roll right here pretty good. I got 3 of them strapped. I got 1, and then 2 and 3. So I'll cut that one first, this one, and then that one right there. And you see Kevin, he's down there ready to go. That one launched, Jack. That one was rolling. You can see the basketball goal right there. I wanted that tree to go between the basketball goal and this row of pine trees without hitting any of the pine trees. See the pine trees on the right? You can see the basketball goal kind of just to the left of the tree, and I didn't want it to go, past the basketball goal because it would have whacked that nice pecan tree. So we just measured that tree. It's only about 75 foot tall. A lot of folks think that something like that, standing up like that, this says over 100, but they're not. A lot of times they're not as tall as what you think they are. We got two more we're gonna get on this run. I'm gonna get that one right there and this one right here. And then the rest of them, we got a water line down there we had nothing to deal with. It's kind of somewhere right in there where Kevin's at right now. And so going in and taking these limbs out, because you drop the tree and limb breaks and jabs in the ground, it can bust a water line. Yes, I've had that happen more than once. Ready to rock and roll. Kevin's trying to get the rope out because them right there flip. Got on top of the rope. You see Kevin's anchor down there. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's what we got. A very common question that I get is, does the lift move? Watch the lift. Watch the bar on the lift right there. The lift has quite a bit of, look at that. See that? I'm moving back and forth probably about 3 foot or better. Sometimes it's even more than that. I'm not that high up right here. I'm only probably about pushing 50 foot, I guess. These lifts have to be built with the sway in them. They can't be rigid, and it's just something that you get used to. The further you go up, you get up there at that, 70, 80, and 90 foot, the sway on it gets really, really crazy. Then, like I said, it's just something you got to get used to. There's a water line somewhere in here. Hopefully we don't find it. We'll drop these two. All right, so the saws I was running in that video on the first tree, when I cut that big tree down, went down by the basketball goal post and pine trees there. That was a 500 with a 28-inch bar on it that I run there. And then when I was up in the tree, the second trees I was fixing to speed line and limbs down on, that saw that had the West Coast side cover on it was a 400. That's the one I bought used over in Georgia last year. It had a 20-inch bar on it. Then when I got down on the ground and I cut those last two trees, both of those trees was cut with my 462. I bought that saw too. It was it was used, but it had not been run yet, from the same guy over in Georgia. And it's 462C with a 28-inch bar on it. I get asked a good bit about the saws, how I like them and all this. I mean, all the saws are good. I mean, I like the, all the 400 series Stihl's, the 500, the 661, like them all. Even the Husqvarnas, I like them too. I am going to do a video. There's been people wanting to know my thoughts on what Stihl going to do with the 400, and that's some interesting stuff that's fixing to go down on it. I did talk to Stihl at length at the show, the TCIA show the other day while I was there. And there were a couple other people that were kind of there around that kind of heard the whole conversation when it went down, and just what all went back and forth on that whole deal. They're actually going to discontinue the 362 and the current 400, like what I'm running, and I've got 5 of them, and they come, the saws are insane. They are built to run. I mean, there ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. The 400's got some different stuff in it than any other saws, and the 500's built to run too. The 400 comes with a magnesium piston and it's ceramic coated. And they're going to go from, it's 67 cc's, they're going to go from a 67 cc down to a 62 cc. They're going to discontinue the 400 that I'm running that I like, and they're also going to discontinue the 362, and this new 400 is going to take the place of both of those saws. But it's not going to have a magnesium piston in it, ceramic coated. It's going to have a normal aluminum alloy piston in it. And I'll get into that whole conversation later on with them and what all was said on that aspect. So those of y'all know that I'm good friends with Richard Flagg over in South Carolina. He's a saw builder. He works on saws. That's about all he does every day is work on saws. He's kind of self-taught, and he's phenomenal. So his last video that he posted, it talked about the differences between the 362 and the 400. And he showed the saws, he showed the jugs, the cylinders, turned them up and showed everything on them, showed the difference on them. So the 400 that is in that video that he had the jug off of is a brand spanking new 400 that was bought new in March, that never had any gas or oil put in it. It had only been cranked at the factory during test cranking. That's my saw. He is building this, pulled it apart, building it for me, doing all the goody work to it. The precision felling stuff that I call it is what I really like, what I enjoy doing. And if you want to see the way a hinge, a notch in a hinge is supposed to work textbook. The second tree that I cut down when I was going to throw it onto those 2 logs that were laying out there, just put that thing in slow motion, or I may do it right here while I'm editing. Go back and watch that thing and watch how that hinge works as that tree is pivoting to the ground, and it holds till that tree touches the ground. Actually, that one still continued to hold after it hit the ground, because my goal was to keep it attached to the stump. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll catch y'all later. Later, taters.